3-1 comebacks, insane buzzer beaters, 7-game wars. The NBA playoffs are the most exciting time of the year, and with good reason. This is when legacies are built, stars are tested, and pretenders get exposed. Let's take a look at the 10 series that pushed players to their limits, flipped narratives, and gave us some of the wildest moments in NBA history. These are the 10 craziest NBA playoff series of all time. Number 10. The Dallas Mavericks vs the Miami Heat in the 2011 Finals. We are starting with a classic, David vs Goliath, Dirk vs Bosh, Dwayne Wade vs Jason Kidd, and yes, LeBron James vs JJ Barea. This matchup shouldn't have gone the way it did, but it did. This was LeBron's first season in Miami after taking his talents to South Beach and forming the Big Three. Everyone expected the coronation, instead they got humbled. This series had massive legacy implications. It transformed Dirk into a finals legend after years of playoff heartbreak, and for LeBron, this is still one of the darkest stains in his career. But even besides the legacy implications, it still had some of the craziest moments in playoff history. Game 4, LeBron puts up just 8 points. Game 5, JJ Barea goes off, 70 points, 4 clutch threes. Game 2, Dallas was down 15 in the 4th, but they came back to win it all. This was chaos, legacy, emotion all in one. No question, it deserves a spot on this list. Number 9. The Miami Heat vs the New York Knicks in the 1997 Conference Semi-Finals. This might be the only entry that isn't on here purely for basketball reasons. Let's paint the picture. The Knicks are up 3-1, just one win away from getting another shot at MJ's Bulls. But in Game 5, a brawl breaks out and everything falls apart. It starts when Charlie Ward and PJ Brown get tangled up, boxing out for a rebound. Brown lifts Ward off the ground and body slams him like it's a wrestling match. Benches clear, chaos erupts, and the league responds with brutal suspensions. The Knicks get hit the hardest. Patrick Ewing, Houston, Larry Johnson, Starks, and more all get suspended across Game 6 and 7. The Knicks are forced to play short-handed the rest of the series and lose. And it wasn't just a fight, the series was full of tension. Alonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson had a long-running beef that boiled over. Jeff Van Gundy literally clung onto Alonzo's leg in one of the most stupid moments ever. The games were grindy, physical, and full of hard fouls. Just nasty 90s basketball. The Heat capitalized on the chaos and won the series. Houston Rockets vs Phoenix Suns 1995 Western Conference Semi-Finals. Another 3-1 comeback, but this one, it had attitude, legacy, and one of the coldest game winners ever. The defending champions, the Houston Rockets, came into this series as the 6th seed. Not exactly a favorite. And once they went down 3-1 to Barclays Suns, most people had them finished. But this wasn't new for Phoenix. Houston came back from a 3-1 deficit against them the year before too. This was a déjà vu in the worst way. The Rockets clawed back to force the Game 7 on the road, and that's where things got legendary. With under a minute left and the Rockets up 1, Mario Elie drills a corner three, turns to the Suns bench and hits them with the kiss of death. Top tier disrespect, one of the most iconic moments of the 90s playoffs. But it wasn't just Elie. Hakeem was surgical, Drexler stepped up, and together they ran the OG two-man game before it was trendy. Add in the trash talk, elbows, and mid-90s physicality, and this was straight up old school playoff chaos. Number 7. The Houston Rockets vs the Golden State Warriors in the 2018 Western Conference Semi-Finals. This one still stings for the Rockets fans, and honestly, it should. At this point, the Warriors were the final boss of the NBA, but the Rockets, they built a team to specifically take them down. By Game 5, Houston had them on the ropes. They were up 3-2, one win away from the finals. Then it all unraveled. CP3 pulled his hamstring in the final minutes of Game 5. And just like that, he was out for the rest of the series. Game 6, Warriors took care of business in Oakland. Then we get to Game 7, the reason the series is on the list. Houston playing at home goes up 54-43 late in the second quarter. The building is rocking and shaking. And then, the coldest streak you will ever see. The Rockets missed 27 straight threes. Brick after brick after brick. They didn't hit a single one until the fourth quarter, by which point the Warriors had already taken control. The Warriors went on to sweep the Cavs in the finals, but this was their true test. The Rockets without CP3 came one quarter and a few threes away from pulling off the impossible. What if the Rockets win that game? Does Harden have a ring? Does CP3's legacy look different? Does KD leave sooner? This wasn't just a loss, it's one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. Number 6. Philadelphia 76ers vs the Boston Celtics in the 1981 Eastern Conference Finals. This one doesn't get talked about enough, but it might be the clutchest series in NBA history. The Sixers were up 3-1, they had Dr. J, Andrew Toney, Mo Cheek, a team built to take over the East. Boston was still young, Larry Bird in his sophomore year, but even before the comeback, the games were tight. Game 1, Philly wins by just 1 point. Game 4, another nail-biter, a 2-point win. This wasn't domination, it was survival. Then the Celtics comeback started. Boston wins Game 5 by 2, Game 6 by 2, and Game 7 by 1, coming back down from 7 with 5 minutes left. That's 3 elimination games won by a combined 5 points. No buzzer beaters, no overtime, just pure execution and grit by the Celtics. Bird didn't drop 40, but they hit dagger after dagger in this series. They collapsed under pressure. The crowd was insane, every possession was life and death, and this wasn't just a comeback. It was the first 3-1 comeback of the modern NBA. Not the flashiest series, but in terms of tension, clutch play and raw pressure, it absolutely deserves a spot on this list. Number 5. The Sacramento Kings vs the LA Lakers in the 2002 Western Conference Finals. This might be the most controversial playoff series in NBA history. Ask any Kings fans, they will tell you this wasn't a loss, it was a robbery. The Kings were for real. They had Chris Webber, Mike Bibby, Peja Stojakovic, Vlade Divac and Doug Christie. A squad with chemistry, defense, shooting and zero fear of Shaq and Kobe. They finished with the best record in the league and had home court advantage. By Game 5 they were up 3-2. Then comes Game 6. The Lakers shot 27 free throws in the last quarter alone. Let that sink in. 27 in one quarter. Tiki-taki fouls, phantom calls, king players in foul trouble. It was awful. And it's not just the fans who think it was shady. Even former ref Tim Donaghy said the game was manipulated to force a Game 7. But the Kings still had a chance. Game 7 in Sacramento went to overtime. They missed key free throws, Mike Bibby caught an elbow to the face, no call, and the Lakers escaped. This wasn't just a series, it was a full-on soap opera, and it crushed a small market contender in its prime. Number 4. The Toronto Raptors vs the Philadelphia 76ers in the 2019 Eastern Conference Semi-Finals. This series gave us one of the most unforgettable shots the game has ever seen. The series itself was a grind, heavy defense, slow pace, tough buckets. Neither team scored 100 in 4 of the 7 games. By Game 7 everything was maxed out. Tension, pressure and noise. And with the score tied in the final seconds, Leonard, double-teamed in the corner, fades away over Joel Embiid. The ball bounces. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, and drops. Game, series, history. It was the first Game 7 buzzer beater in NBA history. It sent the Raptors to the conference finals and eventually their first title. It sent Embiid into tears, it sent Philly home. This wasn't just a crazy ending, it was a moment that froze time. Every fan remembers where they were when that shot dropped. Pure cinema. Number 3. The Miami Heat vs the San Antonio Spurs in the 2013 finals. This wasn't just one of the craziest finals ever, it was legacy warfare. The Miami Heat were trying to repeat, the Big Three coming off their 2020 title. The Spurs built on championship DNA. Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili and the rising Kawhi Leonard, all looking for ring number 5 with that core. By Game 6 the Spurs were up 3-2 and just seconds away from closing it out. They were leading by 5 with under 30 seconds to go. The Larry O'Brien trophy was courtside ready to be rolled out. And then it happened. LeBron hits a 3, Kawhi misses a free throw, Bosh grabs the rebound, kicks it out, Ray Allen backpedals to the corner, bang! Tie game, overtime. The Heat survive, but here's the thing. If Ray Allen misses that shot, it's over. The Spurs win the championship. LeBron drops to 1-3 in the finals, people are questioning his legacy again. The Heat's Big Three starts looking like a disappointment. And Ray Allen, still a Hall of Famer, but not immortal. Instead, that single shot flipped the entire narrative and saved many people's career. Number 2. The Chicago Bulls vs the Boston Celtics, 2009 first round. This wasn't the finals, it wasn't even the conference finals. But somehow it became one of the wildest playoff series in NBA history. You had the defending champion the Celtics without KG going up against the young, fearless Bulls team led by rookie Derrick Rose. And it turned into a classic. 7 games, 7 overtimes. Let that sink in. In Game 1, Derrick Rose drops 36 in his playoff debut and the Bulls steal it in overtime. Game 4, double overtime. Ben Gordon hits a ridiculous game-tying 3 while limping and the Bulls steal it. Game 5, Celtics win in overtime. Game 6, absolute madness, triple overtime. Joakim Noah strips Paul Pierce, races down the court, throws a poster dunk and the Bulls escape again. 4 of the 7 games went to overtime, but all of them were tight. Every night felt like it could be the end. Game 7 was the only one without late game drama. Boston finally closed the door, but the heart, the chaos, the moments all belong to this series. It still holds the record for most overtimes in a single playoff series. Number 1. The Cleveland Cavaliers vs the Golden State Warriors in the 2016 Finals. You already knew this was gonna be number 1. This wasn't just crazy, it was mythical. Golden State just had finished the greatest regular season of all time, 73-9. They had the unanimous MVP in Curry, the best offense, the best defense, and the confidence of a dynasty in the making. Then they went up 3-1 on the Cavaliers. It looked over. Curry was hitting the night-night, LeBron staring down the feet, and then the greatest finals comeback ever began. Game 5, LeBron and Kyrie both drop 41. Green gets suspended rather controversially, but the series flips. Game 6, another 41 from Braun. Cleveland forces a Game 7, the momentum fully shifted. Game 7 is the stuff of legends. Tie game in the final minutes. And then 3 plays that will live forever. The block. Braun runs down Iguodala and pins the ball against the glass. The shot. Kyrie hits a step-back 3 over Curry. And finally, the stop. Kevin Love. Yes, Kevin Love switches onto Curry and locks him down. Final score 93-89. Cleveland wins. LeBron falls to the floor and the Cavs complete the first 3-1 comeback in finals history. From iconic shots to shattered dreams, this series gave us everything. Drama, chaos and history in the making. But I know you've got opinions too, so drop them in the comments and let's talk. I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.